Welcome, my friends, to our blending lesson today. Today is November 5th. We're working with Unit 2, Week 3. And this week we're talking about those ending blends. So we're going to take two consonants and we'll blend them together to make one sound. Only this time it's at the end of the word. We've talked about how we can put blends at the beginning of a word with the L or the R or the S. So this week we're working on blends at the end of a word. So before we get started, we'll do our high frequency word practice. So if you know the word, say the word. And of course, make sure you're repeating and to help you really own the words. Walk, by, many, around, place, day, her, all, want, call, eat, who, know, of, under, 3, 1, live, then, could, use, knew, there, help, again. Beautiful, thank you. All right, so our first word is ant. Your turn. Ant. So just like we have done this week, your shoulder sound is going to be in orange, and your elbow sound is going to be in brown. In the word ant, we only have a shoulder and an elbow sound. And then N and T, we put those together. Nt, nt, ant. And of course, you could say these three letters as three different sounds. Ant. You could, because it only has three letters, but two sounds. If it was a longer word, it is much, much, much easier and more helpful if you can chunk a couple of letters together to make one sound. Like if you chunk N and T together to say nt. Right, next word. And. Your turn. And. So and is a high frequency word, which we didn't know that we could sound out until we had this extra ending blend skill in our back pocket. A says N and D, they come together to say nd, because N will say and D will say da, da, nd. So let's blend. And. Next word, land. Your turn. And. Land. So this word land kind of sounds like the same at the end. And. So let's see. Our shoulder sound. Our elbow sound. A says la. And then our wrist sound. N-D. N-da. So now we can blend the whole word. Land. Next word. Disc. Your turn. Ska. Disc. Our shoulder sound. D, which says what? Da. I says da. Di. And then our ending blend. SK. Ska. Now let's blend. Da. Ska. Disc. Excellent. So let's read our first line. Ant and land. Disc. Your turn. Beautiful. Thank you so much. And next word, bank. Your turn. A, ink, bank. Should have said ah. Okay, so our shoulder sound, ba. And our elbow sound, A says ah, ba, ah, ba. And then our ending blend, N-K, nk, nk, ba, a, ba, ah, nk, bank. Next word, past. Your turn. Pa, a, sta. Past. Shoulder sound P, which says pa. Elbow sound A, which says a, pa, a, pa. And here's our ending blend, S-T, s-ta, sta, pa, ast, past. Next word, print. Your turn. Per, I, nt, print. P-R, per, pa, per. I says I, per, I, per. Fix that. And T, nt, nt. Now let's blend. Per, I, nt, print. So we've got a beginning blend and we have an ending blend. P, which says pa, and R, which says pa, per. So there's per, I, and then NT, nt, nt. So if I want to say print, like I'm going to print my report, then that's something that I'm going to do in the future. But if I'm doing it right now, printing, I have to add ing. If I'm talking about doing it right now. Now the word printing, now you're getting into bigger words with more letters and more sounds. So that's when it is super duper helpful if you can chunk a couple of letters to make one sound, like P and R, per, or N and T, nt, or ing, ing. Next word, jump. Your turn. J, mp, jump. J says ja. U says ja, ja. And then our ending blend. MP, mp, ja, mp, jump. So this is just, I'm going to jump. I'm going to jump in the water. I'm going to jump in the water. Or if I'm doing it right now, I am jumping in the water. And so in order to make jumping, what do we have to add? That ing. Absolutely. That's just supposed to be an I. That's part I made. J-a-m-ing. Jumping. So that is supposed to be an I. I just made a boo-boo if you're writing it. Next word, ask. Your turn. A-ska. Ask. A says a. S-K. Ska. A-ska. Because S will say S, and K will say ka. S-ka. Ska. And then we can blend this word. Ask. Ask. So this is like I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to do it in a few minutes or in the future. Or if I'm doing it right now, like, hey, I'm asking you a question, I have to add ing. Asking. asking. Next word, stand. Your turn. Sta, a, nd. Stand. So here's a beginning blend. St, sta. A says a, sta, sta. Nd, nd, sta, a, stand. So it's like, I'm going to stand in line. Or if I'm doing it right now, stand ing. Thank you. I saw some lips moving there. Sta, a, ding. Standing. So yeah, when you know that you can chunk letters to make one sound, like S and T, instead of it just being sta, you can put it together. Sta, N and D, instead of it just being nda, nd, and ing, we can make ing. Sta, a, ding. Standing. All right, let's go ahead and read our board. So we read that first line. Now we'll read the second and third line. Bank, past, printing. Your turn. Lovely. Jumping, asking, standing. Your turn. Lovely. All right, let's do a sentence. F says, I says, if, I. X says, x, fix. And here's high frequency word, the. And we can never sound out the word the. We just have to know. THE says the. Thank you. T says ta. E says ta. Te. There's our ending blend. NT. Nt. Ta. Nt. Tent. And high frequency word. And I mean, now that we have one more tool in our back pocket, blending the ending sounds, we can kind of sound it out. And. High frequency word, we. Later on in first grade, we will learn how we can sound out the word we. High frequency word, can, which we can now kind of sound out. Ka, a, can. High frequency word, go. Got a whole bunch of high frequency words here. C says ka. A says a, ka, ka. There's our ending blend, ka, a, camp. All right, let's read what we have so far. Fix the tent and we can go camp. So I think it would sound better if we made the word camping. So if I want to make camping, what do I need? I saw some lips moving. I need ing. Now I have ka, a, bing, camping. So even though ing is 3 letters, it sounds a lot easier if you just remember that ing, ing. Ka, a, Camping. Let's go ahead and read our sentence. Fix the tent and we can go camping. Your turn. Lovely. All right, so we do need some punctuation. What kind of punctuation does our sentence need? That's right. Our sentence needs a period. Now, if you wanted to say this with some emphasis, some oomph, because you're really excited about going camping and I want mom or dad to fix the tent because you really want to go camping. So you might say, hey, fix the tent and we can go camping. So if that's how you want to say the sentence, make sure you have an exclamation point if you're writing it. If you're just saying fix the tent and we can go camping next week, then you might just have a period. Okay, let's do nouns. So what is one of our nouns? Shout it out. Tent. Tent. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is the only noun. The only noun in our sentence. The word we is kind of a noun. It's actually called a pronoun. So I'm just going to put a dotted line box around this. Because it's a pronoun, it takes the place of a noun. But it would have to be you and somebody else. So if I was saying this sentence and I was saying this to Mr. Porter, I might say, fix the tent and Mr. Porter and I can go camping. All right, so looking for someone who would like to read our whole blending board. Thank you so much for your participation. It shows with your learning.